Good evening, lovely people of the internet. It is Thursday, December 4th. We are in Advent season. I am live from not my house and not a hotel, but I'm not going to tell you where I am exactly. And the guys are live at Corby's in South Bend. Another packed show tonight. Darren Pritchett will join us. He covers everything sports. He used to cover Notre Dame before he moved back to St. Louis. So we'll talk to him about college football and a little bit of everything. And then our main man, Tony Letcher, will join us to talk about whatever he wants to talk about. It's a great show. The tagline of this show, will Notre Dame miss the playoffs? Because we're kind of set up in a world where that might happen. We will discuss that and more here on Coach's Corner.
Coach's Corner with Coach Heck and the infamous Coach Patrick King. Some of the stuff we say.
We're not responsible for our actions.
No,
we're sober.
In essence, and you could tell me to shut the hell up, but in essence, you got chemo face, right?
I got chemo face. When I go to the scores table to talk to Coach, I said, get as many pictures as you can. And it kind of reminded me that the stories you said when you coached the McDonald's game, when you had LeBron say, okay, LeBron signed this because someday it's going to be important.
What did one casket say to the other? Is that you coughing? And you ain't that good. The scouting report said you were pretty good. You ain't that good.
Coach's Corner with Heck and King live at Corby's Irish Pub in South Bend is brought to you by Tony Letcher with Health Markets Insurance, Han Funeral Homes in Mishawaka, Frick's Driving School in Mishawaka, and the Harbor Group Planned Wealth down in Anderson. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment in the chat. And now here's Heck and King.
Hey, welcome everybody. A little chilly out here tonight, but we are in the great Corby's Irish Pub. Thank you.
I was a little late.
No.
I was a little late.
That's 6'5" from South Bend, starting at forward, Ronnie Hecklinski. There we go. We have a full house here tonight. We have the great Johnny Overmount. Johnny be good with us tonight. We have the awesome Pat King, who is just amazing on this show. If it's not for Pat, we probably wouldn't have a show. Or if it wasn't for Pat, maybe our show would be better. I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
We have Tony Letcher,
we'll look at
the owner, the president, anything you want to call him from Health Markets.
That's right.
He and we're both clients, right?
Right. Yes.
We're both clients.
Yep.
And then obviously Ronnie Hecklinski, little Ronnie from the neighborhood from MR Falcons.
Little Ronnie from the hood.
Little Ronnie from the hood.
That's because you're a West Side guy.
We have somebody taking a picture. We have a beautiful lady right in front of us taking a picture. Wait, I'm married, by the way.
We won't tell your wife. Yeah,
I'm married. What a great night to talk sports. We missed last week because of Thanksgiving, and I'm hoping starting with John that you had a great Thanksgiving, right?
had a wonderful Thanksgiving with friends and family and enjoyed a little bit of time off.
So you do have friends?
The one friend, yes.
I have friends
in low places.
I have friends in low places.
Don't start
Thank
singing.
you, Garth Brooks.
Well, you've already sung one.
So where did you have Thanksgiving, my world traveler? And every time I think of you, I think of where the hell's Matt Lauer?
Where's Matt Lauer? That was us. I spent Thanksgiving in Texas.
Just check his Facebook page. You'll see all kinds of pictures there.
Well, somebody had a birthday.
Yeah,
so,
he updated his cover photo 4 times with the same picture.
Yeah, I'm officially now old.
So, yeah, but I used to always talk about all my exes live in Texas.
Uh-huh.
Was that you? Is that you? Is that your song?
There were none that be had.
No exes lived in Texas?
We're going to keep it that way.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but
hey, nobody listens to this show anyway. You can talk about anything you want to talk about.
I do
No
want
exes, it's just me.
I'm just saying.
I do want to check in. I've got 2 family things I'm going to say just because I can. My mother-in-law is home today. She broke her hip 8 weeks ago. And Scott is actually in Alexandria. I'm going to tell on. He's secretly in Alexandria. He's on a layover from one of his flights. And so Grandma's home.
Okay.
And my wife's down there. He's down there visiting, getting her settled in today, matter of fact. And then my brother Steve down in Garland, we figured out why he had such a lousy game of golf on Saturday. He had his gallbladder out. taken out yesterday.
Oh, man.
So he had
That's got to at least be 5 strokes.
he had
That's 5 strokes to the good.
He needed more than that. He was awful.
Yeah.
Jeff and I were trying to be nice. My other brother.
Between that and his brain surgery 20 years ago.
Brain surgery 20 years ago, and
And let's
got his gallbladder out this weekend.
and let's hope Grandma doesn't get run over by a reindeer.
Well, she's going to be
on her way
inside
from
by
my
then.
house Christmas Eve.
It'll be with a walker.
Then we have the great Tony Letcher here. Tony, what did you and your family do on Thanksgiving?
We rested from open enrollment.
And on the 7th day, we rested.
We
That's right.
rested.
You're in the middle of
We're in the middle of chaos right
busy
now.
season for you, isn't it?
Most definitely.
Yeah, but it's a great season, right?
It is. No, it's a good season.
Cha-ching! Hit the cash register every time. the
Well,
phone
no,
rings, right?
I speak. See, Pat speaks about money most of his life. I speak from the heart. How many people that you've helped during this
I
time?
agree. That's why I love what I do.
And people. I mean, like me and Pat, when we retired and everything, we ran to you. We were on all fours saying, "Tony, help us.
Right.
How do we get United Healthcare? How do we get taken care of?" We go to Tony, right?
That's right.
Tony.
Well, here, let me put you on the spot here for a minute. We'll let you do it. Earn some money here. Let's do a situational situation here.
Uh-oh.
What happens if you've got, let's say, somebody that's 90?
Well, hold it for a second. A situational situation.
Yeah, arbitrary.
Where the hell did that come from?
I just made
he was
it.
a teacher. That's,
He was
that's
a-
what, he was a
Did you
teacher.
teach English?
I just made it up.
Okay, go ahead. My bad. Go
Let's
ahead.
make believe that a 90-year-old falls and breaks their leg or hip
Right.
and has to have a hip replacement. They have long-term care insurance, and it pays for part of it, but then eventually it runs out. And when they go home, what kind of insurance is available for that at-home care 8 to 10 weeks later when they come home? Is there any? And
Well, yes,
when
you have home
the-
care policies too.
Okay, let's.
So-
You really put Tony on the spot.
Yeah.
on
No,
that,
I'm
man.
just asking.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So I mean, I'm just wondering where
Or you got to hope you have a really nice daughter-in-law
you could
Or
point.
son-in-law.
or son-in-law. Well,
Oh, I'm
true.
I'm just asking. I was wondering where the Dion and Coach Saban commercials come in here
This
with
is
with
Affleck.
with the long term.
Wait a minute. I thought I saw a duck walking across.
I didn't know if
That was the Oregon duck.
That
not
was-
the select
I
duck.
didn't know if that stuff fits into the story or not. But I'm looking at the long-term care. Once this person is at home,
Right.
what do you do for the next 8 weeks until this, imaginary person's back to health?
There's policies for everything.
Okay.
There is a policy.
When do you do? Is that something he and I should look into, like right now?
No, absolutely not.
at
I'm in my
age-
prime. I don't care. I don't know about you. I am in my prime.
Well, I'm not.
John's in
I'm
his
in my
prime.
prime too. Yeah, I don't know about you.
I don't know about you.
I just hit the
Coach.
big
I
7-0.
mean, Tony hadn't hit his prime yet. He's
I
still.
know. I just hit the
still
big
a pup.
7-0. So I'm looking at long-term
Well,
care.
you always want to do it
El
before you need
Paso.
it.
Okay.
El Paso, Texas.
When do you know
We
you
got
need
some
it?
people from El Paso, Texas
You
here.
don't.
You don't.
Man, I love it.
So there's a policy for everything.
There's a policy for everything.
Okay.
There is. Now, the beauty about Tony is that, health markets, he's the absolute best. Anything, relative to insurance, he's the absolute best. I had a question, and I called him in his office yesterday. I called United Healthcare today, and here's exactly what I said. They answered, and I said, I want the president of United Healthcare on the phone right now. And the lady goes, what? I said, I want the president because I'm not talking to like 6 people, before I get to the president. I want the president.
How'd that go?
They hung up on me.
It's curious.
But
And then
I
he
called
called
back.
And they called you.
And then they called Tony, and then I
He
got
said,
everything
"Call
squared
Tony."
away. But hey, listen, and Tony's one of our sponsors. He's been with us for, I don't know, since the inception of our show. How about that word? The inception of our show. That's pretty
He
cool.
doesn't even know what that means.
That's the start of our show.
Okay, I'm good.
Start of our show. But Tony has something that he's really passionate about, and not only his work, his insurance, but his love of Indiana University athletics. And what a time! What a time to be an IU fan, right?
Oh, great time.
Talk about your buddy Kurt Signetti.
Oh,
Talk about him.
You gotta love him, right?
Are you on first name basis with him yet?
Well, he's got a lot of coaches fired lately
Yeah.
because they all think that they can do what Kurt does.
Well, and plus he has a lot of coaches on speed dial too, because they're all asking him how he did it.
Right.
And it is a different time. It is a different era. It's not the college sports that we kind of remember.
Right.
It's different. And so the ability to come in and turn something around that quickly, it's there.
Right. Well, the worst football team in history in college.
That's right.
Worst.
When
Northwestern has supplanted them now.
Never
Though.
had never had double-digit wins in the history of IU.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Never made a Big Ten championship ever.
Even the '68
Seriously.
Rose Bowl team.
Yeah, and never was undefeated, obviously, either. So
Wow.
he made
This is a
history.
first.
So his formula for doing that, and we're going to have Darren Pritchett on here about 7 o'clock, and Darren is a great football guy. I mean, college football, basketball, football, whatever. But his formula for doing that was taking kids that were not necessarily 5-star kids,
Right.
but kids that would buy into his system, right?
Right.
When you talk about his system, what is his system?
That's a good question that the rest of America's trying to figure out, right?
That's that's
Oh,
right.
I know what
what's
his
he
system
doing?
is.
What's he doing different? than the
I
other
know what
people
his system is. And you do too, because we've talked about his system is that he ain't taking knuckleheads.
No.
He's
wants guys
taking
that are
guys.
hungry.
He's taking guys that are hungry. He's taking guys that want to learn. He's taking guys that want to listen.
Right.
He's taking guys that want to be accountable.
Right.
He's taking guys like me, Pat, and John.
Right.
Well, maybe me and John.
Yeah, I don't know about Pat. I'm not
No,
sure.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not sure
A lot of what he's doing kind of reminds me of what Popovich did at San Antonio
Right.
in his own
Good
world.
point.
I'm thinking of coaches, no matter what sport it was. I was thinking back, is that something Madden did with the Raiders? Well, see, he took all the crazy people, but he dangled something in front of them and said, show up,
Right.
which doesn't go with guys that are straight down the line. He's no nonsense at IU. If you do something crazy, you're gone.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He cares about the program, right?
Right.
How many games did you go to this year?
No games this year.
Tony, this was
I know.
this
I watched
was
every
this was
game.
heaven though.
I
This
watched
was
every- I know.
heaven.
Somehow
know.
that TV works, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it is
Yeah.
nice.
That TV works.
I talk about Mendoza a little bit. How good is Mendoza?
I think he's real good. Especially, I think what he's so good at is mentally knowing what to do with the ball. I mean, he doesn't make too many mistakes.
Is
Will he
he?
win the Heisman? That's the question.
Is
I
he-
think
the
this
Heisman?
Saturday is going to tell you whether he'll
And
win the
that- and
Heisman.
that's
I
a
think he
great
already won
point.
the Heisman personally.
Okay.
Because when
And-
you compare him to other guys, have they been in that situation where they got to drive down the field and make a play?
Mhm.
No.
Well, these so-called experts that you listen to on the radio or watch on TV are saying, yeah, it's going to come down to the Big Ten championship game. It's going to either be Sainz or Mendoza.
Right.
Even though the four they think are going to be there are going to be Sainz, Mendoza, Love, and Diego Pavia. You're going to get the 4 invites to New York. But it's going to come down to those two guys.
They just want Diego Pavia there, so his
He's
mom will
gonna win
go.
the Heisman.
But isn't there an age requirement? Because isn't Pavia like 32?
Something like that. Yeah.
Been in college like 9 years.
Yeah. I think Penn
The
State won him
committee
the
just
Heisman.
wants his mom to be there.
But if they go to Ohio State and they beat Ohio State, I think it's his.
I agree.
I don't think there's. I don't. So where do you think Jeremiah Love fits in with that?
I don't think he's in the conversation
Really?
Unfortunately.
because he had 2 big games the first 2 games of the year, and he didn't do a whole lot in those 2 games against.
And they're
Marquee
not playing
teams.
this weekend, so
And
recency
I
bias.
think one of those games was not his fault. But once again, it's not his fault.
Good
He got
point.
4 carries, but that was the chance
Yeah,
for the
no,
coaches
100%.
to win him the Heisman, and they didn't.
Well, and since he's been given the ball,
Right.
they've done pretty well 10
Right.
in a row.
All right. So now let's fast forward to Saturday.
Right.
Ohio State, IU. What's the prognosticator say? What do you say about who's favored, who's going to win the game, how they're going to win the game?
Right.
Let's start down there with John. What do you think?
You got a really good defense on both sides. You got really good offenses. Who makes the explosive play? Who makes the explosive play in this game? And I think Ohio State's receivers are going to be the X factor here.
Right.
I really do. I think if they make big plays, that's going to be tough on IU's defense. I like IU, but I think Ohio State may just have a nudge. I'm taking the Buckeyes by 3.
Wow. And when you talk about Ohio State receivers, a name has to come to mind, Brian Hartline.
Brian Hartline, exactly.
Brian
And he's
Hartline
developed
brought
these
those
guys.
receivers in. Last year, Chip Kelly leaves. Brian Hartline then becomes the OC. Now Brian Hartline is coaching at Ohio State just, until they get done here, because he just took the job at South Florida.
Right.
What do you got?
I agree with John. I think Ohio State's going to win the game, but I also have an idea I want to put in front of everybody. This game means a lot to IU.
Right.
Because it's a program verifier. There, I came up with another word. How's that?
Can I ask?
You've been
Can I ask you a question?
Wow.
Now I sat at home all day. And look, I got my
I
fucking dictionary.
I sub for PE teachers. You've been subbing for English teachers now.
I borrowed.
Holy.
They're in the weight room, yeah.
I borrowed Johnny Carson's Funkenwagnall dictionary. Found a couple words.
Okay.
And yeah.
Expound about
all right, here's
on
my
the verifier.
idea. These two teams very likely could play again in 5 weeks. Okay? This game is not as important to Ohio State, in my idea, than it is to IU for game 1 Saturday. This game, to me, I'm going to throw this idea out, is the same as last year's Michigan-Ohio State game, where they could lose to Michigan and turn around and win the national championship, where they could lose to IU Saturday, be the number 2 seed, and then come through the tournament, have the rematch January 8th, 9th, or 10th, whenever it is, and be in a position to win the national championship. I just want to throw that out there. Now, whether you could agree with me or not, I just want you to have that in the back of your mind.
Right.
I think a lot of that also, it deals with the Georgia-Alabama situation this coming week. They could, if Alabama would happen to win again, they could play a third time here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, hold that thought for a second.
That's a whole different topic. We got off the idea
because I want to slide to that in a minute. So, what's your take on it?
Well, I agree with what he's saying. I would tell you, though, I don't think Signetti cares that much either.
About this game?
I don't think he personally does. I think the fan base cares more about it than some of the players.
He has to care.
He wants to win a championship.
Yeah.
And he's famous for not showing his playbook when the game's not on the line.
He's looking at the big picture, you're saying.
And he thinks he may play him again.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd rather beat him the second time than the first time. And once again, as long as the game's close, they probably have a bye unless they get blown out of this game.
Hey, think how many times you did that during basketball season.
Right.
When you knew you were going to play somebody in the sectional.
You don't show your whole hand.
All right, stop for a second.
But I'll tell you this. I do think they're going to beat them by double digits. Because the last time I
Ohio
heard
State's going to beat IU?
No, IU will beat Ohio State by 10 points or more. Because we heard the same chatter right before the Oregon game.
Yes, we did.
Oh, they don't have a chance. The receivers are better quarterback.
Oregon.
I agree.
They live up to this. And they played on the road at Oregon. They're going to have a home base, I think, in Indy.
The game's at Indy.
They're going to be fired up. These players are ready. They've had some really tough games. I think that gives them the advantage as well. Ohio State hasn't had a close game yet. Michigan wasn't really that close. They've controlled that whole game for the most part.
Yeah, I think your points are
Is there
great.
not a reason that there haven't been a close game?
Scott's got the wiggles going right now. Because he's an Ohio
Go
State
back
guy.
to your point when you were saying about when I was coaching or you were coaching. Go ahead and say that again.
I know personally, I had some games when I played people when I pretty well knew I was going to, if I wanted to win the sectional, I was going to have to play them again.
Right.
So there were a lot of times during the season, I might not do everything in that game. It's something as simple as I'm going to play man-to-man the whole game. I'm only going to run maybe 2 out of bounds plays. I'm not going to run that 3rd or 4th out of bounds play. I'm not going to go full court press. I'm not going to go diamond press. I'm not going to go half court trap in the season game. I'm going to save that for the tournament.
Okay, so you are, how you're explaining that is 100% opposite of how I think. Because
and that's why
when I was coaching, it didn't matter if I was playing that team tomorrow in the first round of the sectional. It didn't matter because whenever I was involved in either playing a game or coaching a game, that day, that night was the biggest night to me, and I never ever didn't show anything because I was afraid of the fact that they might have, that they're going to see it in another week. Okay, you couldn't stop it tonight. We beat your ass tonight. You couldn't stop it tonight. You think you're going to stop it in another week? good luck to you.
Right.
So that was my theory, man. I mean, every game to me was like the biggest thing in America to me. And I don't care if I was playing Career Academy or at Anderson we were playing the Marion Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Every game like that to me. So I have a little different take on it.
Well,
I
here
think-
I'm going to interrupt you too. Most of the time, you were going out on the floor when your team was the favorite. You had the horses. You gotta remember, when I'm at South Bend Adams, we were busting our butt every game just to break even. Because you had players. I sometimes had players.
At Mishawaka, we didn't have players.
I was coming to the game with that at best a 50-50 chance to win a ball game, where you were coming into ball games 75-25. Now you're right, Mishawaka.
51-49, man. 51-49%. So here's my take, and I agree with you, but I think you're selling yourself short, because I think you had great players. Matter of fact, I talked to Landon Booker yesterday. I saw LB. I went to
and he was one of my better players. Ended up playing college.
I thought
ball.
you had great teams. I thought you were a great coach. You had great teams. But here's my deal about this game. I think once the kick goes up and the ref says kick off, I think both of them coaches in that game are going to try and coach their brains out, and they're going to try and win that game, just because they want to set the tone.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I mean, if Indiana beats the hell out of Ohio State by 35, then they set the tone.
True.
Now,
can I ask you a question?
You can ask me anything you want. You're the producer.
Up to this point, is this the biggest game in Indiana football history?
Without question, right?
Without question.
So why would they not want to go out there and win?
Well, I'm just saying.
They're playing for a trophy.
If they want to win, I don't think he's going to show his whole hand.
Well, I don't agree with that either, because here's what I say. They have watched every snap of every game this year. Ohio State knows every play that unless Kurt Cignetti is going to put a new offense in. He might put a new offense in. I don't know. I don't think he will.
Charlie Wise at the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think he will.
No.
But he's got guys that have broken down every play. Hey, remember this play that they ran against Illinois? Hey, remember this, what they did when they played Purdue, blah, blah, blah. They know every play. So whether you're showing something, there's nothing that ain't anybody seen anyway right now.
That's a good point.
Right?
Ohio State went into Alabama's film from the 2020 national championship, and that was the play that they scored in the national championship. That first touchdown with Jeremiah Smith running that like half orbit motion. That was a play from Alabama that Devontae Smith ran. So like,
and so I think
both teams are digging way into the film.
I think that Ohio State is watching film when Kurt Cignetti was at James Madison.
Oh,
those guys are so analytical and so
Probably
technical.
watching film when Cignetti was an assistant for Saban.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a point that I want to go back to when you talked about Alabama. If Alabama loses this game to Georgia, that's 3 losses. Will Alabama be in the college playoff?
That's a good question.
Yes. Because the committee won't punish people for losing conference title games, because that's an extra game that you get to earn.
But will they put a 3-loss team in and knock Notre Dame out? I don't know.
Depends on
That's
if
a
it's
question.
close.
I got people in the people in the crowd going no.
Or Miami.
No.
Or Miami.
Because they flopped them politically, they would allow them to get in. If they didn't flop them, they'd drop one and they'd be out.
I got a guy from El Paso just gave us the answer.
He knows.
That ain't El Paso, Indiana. That's El Paso, Texas.
He knows exactly.
Yeah,
that.
he's exactly right.
And they're going to send him to the Sun Bowl.
But I think all of those scenarios are amazing, right?
right.
So all right, let's kind of jump off of IU for a second, and let's go to Notre Dame.
No, before you do that,
Okay.
let's keep him on the spot. Did you watch last night's basketball game?
No, I didn't, but I saw the score and I was shocked.
Oh, I turned on the Big Ten Network.
Be 7-1 or 7-0 going against 4-4. But at the end of the day,
they'd lost several in a row.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's now league play.
Well, yeah.
It's now league play. I don't care what you did out of
Now
league.
they're 0-1 in the Big Ten.
Now it's league play, right, John?
Yeah, it's league play. Yes,
And
exactly.
league play,
It means a lot more.
league play, the intensity ratchets us up.
Yep.
Right.
The officiating can become a little bit more of a different if you're playing at home.
They were at the barn.
Yeah.
Right, the barn in Minnesota. Yep.
And Tucker DeFreeze is averaging 17 a game. He
Yep.
goes for 9.
Right. And they shot horrible when I was looking at stats.
Yeah, no, they
That's
did.
the problem. They're a
that
shooting
happens
team.
up there.
They're a shooting team. So
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah, have
have you ever
cold
been to
streaks.
Minnesota? Have you been to the barn?
little
I
cold.
drove a snowmobile from South Bend to Minnesota
No, I mean,
one
have
time
you
when I
been to
was
the barn
19.
before? I
But I
was
don't
there.
remember. I don't remember doing it. I just woke up and
Oh,
they said you're in Minnesota.
Oh dear.
Yep.
No. So what do you think about IU basketball?
They're definitely better than last year.
Yeah, no,
By
without
far. And I
question.
do like their coach a lot. I like their offense. They move. It reminds me of Bobby Knight back in the day. They're not standing still, waiting for a guy to figure out what they're doing. They're constantly moving, backdoor cutting, passing, looking for the open guy.
And he brought in a whole new roster. The only name I recognize is
None.
the coach's kid.
Yeah,
I recognize
no-
Trent Sisley from
Yeah.
Southern Indiana.
But
yeah. With the
but he wasn't there last year,
no,
was he?
no, he's
not
a
one
freshman.
player.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, there's nobody back.
No.
They left.
But
I mean,
he was similar to where he's bringing guys that were successful at another college.
Mhm.
So who does he
Not-
remind you of a little bit?
Kurt Signetti.
100%.
You know, he's not looking at they're a 5-star or a 4-star. Can you shoot? Can you pass? Can you play defense? Are you smart?
Yeah, 100%.
I agree.
And he as opposed to Woody, Mike Woodson. I mean, Mike Woodson just went out and
Totally
got
opposite.
what he thought were the most talented players,
Correct.
but they couldn't mesh. They had no chemistry.
Charlie Wise did that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Woody went about it from an NBA standpoint.
Correct. And that doesn't work out half the time either.
No, and Darian DeFreeze
Good point.
is doing it from a purely college standpoint.
Right.
And I think once you see his program in place for a year or two,
Right.
then I think you're really going to see how you take off. But you're right when you say they're a totally different team
Totally different.
than they were last year.
I agree.
Can
They're
I
actually
make
fun
a
to
point
watch,
real
too.
quick?
They are fun to watch.
But
I mean, guys ain't complaining at each other. Guys ain't pointing fingers. They're great.
talk to me, Scott.
Oh, I was going to say the whole thing about talent, though. It is nice to get 4- and 5-star players because sometimes they turn into D'Angelo Russell, or sometimes they turn into Caleb Swanigan. And also, like Signetti had said, I prefer productivity over potential. And I'm like, okay, that's all well and good because you can say that when you're not getting the big time recruits. But you know who had a lot of potential? Jeremiah Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say he's produced pretty well too.
He's done pretty well.
Well, yeah, no, he's a great 5-star, 6-star, 7-star player. But if he didn't have a quarterback that could get him the ball, it
Right.
probably wouldn't matter. Hey, I think we got Darren
I mean, you
Pritchett
could have
on,
said the
right?
same
We got
thing about
DP.
Marvin
Here he
Harrison.
is. We do. How
Peyton
about we
Manning.
take a break? Let's take a break, Scott. When we come back, we'll get Darren in here and we'll get his 2 cents.
Yeah.
Looking to get your driver's license? Frick's Driving School in Mishawaka makes it easy with the Indiana State Driving Exam in-house for just $65. No formal driver's education is required. If you're 16 years and 270 days old, which is like 9 months, and have held an Indiana learner's permit for at least 180 days, which is like 6 months, you're eligible. Frick's provides the vehicle. All you need to do is bring a ride to and from the office. The exam only takes about 20 minutes, and you can walk out with your official Indiana driver's license. To schedule, call 574-256-0650 or visit fricksdrivered.com.
Finding private health insurance can be stressful. What if it didn't have to be? I'm Tony Letcher, licensed insurance agent. I prefer to personally meet with my clients so I can get a better understanding of your needs and budget. I can even review your current coverage. I don't want you to be my client today. I want you to be my client forever. Call Tony Ledger today to schedule your free consultation or visit tledger.com.
Han Funeral Homes, located at 505 West 8th Street in Mishawaka, continues a proud tradition built on one promise of family serving families. With deep roots in the community, Han Funeral Homes offers traditional burial, cremation services, and now pet cremation options, providing compassionate care for every member of the family. families in Mishawaka have long trusted Hans to guide them with dignity, understanding, and personal attention through life's most difficult moments. For more information, visit them online at hanfuneralhomes.com or call 574-255-1474. Han Funeral Homes, a family serving families. Thinking about retirement, Harbor Group Planned Wealth helps you answer the big questions like when to draw Social Security, how to manage investment risk, and what health insurance might cost. Wondering if you can earn part-time income after 62 without losing benefits, or if retiring could actually feel like getting a raise. They've got answers and a plan to guide you. Call the Harbor Group at 765-393-1074 or visit harborgroup.com. That's harborgroup.com. Back with more Coach's Corner with Heck and King. Thanks as always to the Black Sedan Band for the music coming in and out of these breaks. If you're interested in booking them, they do travel. Head on over to blacksedanband.com and give a special shout out to their drummer, who happens to be Heck's brother. And now, here's more Heck and King.
We are back, and we have the great Darren Pritchett on with us. Darren, you got us, man?
Yes, sir. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey,
DP, how are you, my friend?
So let me introduce everybody. I mean, you know Johnny Be Good, Johnny Overmeyer, the great PK, Pat, the verbalizer, English major, King. We have the great Tony Letcher from the Health Markets, and yours truly,
Guy from the
Ronnie Heck.
The guy from
Were
the
those
hood.
oatmeal cream pies you just moved?
I did. Yes, they were. They were a snack earlier today. I figured that probably isn't a great look. So,
Hey, listen, man, we're talking college football now, man. Jump in. I mean, Tony's is a long time IU guy. He's happier than a pig in mud is what's going on in Bloomington now. The football playoffs. What's your take on what's going on now in the playoffs, in these league championship games and things like that?
I just wish the committee would pick some traits and stick with them week to week. I feel like what they're looking for moves around every week. So it's very confusing. I mean, this is $1 billion industry, and we're messing around with these people that are these committee individuals. And one week it feels like, well, bad losses matter. The next week is how many wins you have. It's just mind-numbing. And I really thought maybe 4 weeks ago Notre Dame was fine, but now I think it's going to be a long weekend of waiting.
So what has to happen for Notre Dame to get in?
Well, worst case scenario is BYU beating Texas Tech, because BYU gets into the field, Texas Tech stays in the field, and one spot is eliminated. And for Notre Dame to stay in, I would think Alabama would have to be blown out by Georgia. But Georgia hasn't blown anybody out, guys. So I'm not sure that's a possibility. So I think doomsday is BYU winning, which I don't think they will. But even if Texas Tech win, guys, BYU's lost to them twice, so that might drop them back, which moves Miami up right behind Notre Dame. And then you get into head-to-head and resume, and that's when absolute chaos takes place.
Yeah, I had written down some things, and the first thing I had written down, Darren, was Texas Tech needs to win. The second thing I wrote down was Georgia needs to win, because that then puts doubt, and as Heck mentioned earlier, that gives Alabama 3 losses. And the other thing I wrote down was Duke needs to win, and I can't remember why. But I wrote that
Why
down.
you got Duke needs to win?
It
'Cause
eliminates.
the ACC would be out completely.
That means the
You cannot
ACC.
put a 7-5 Duke team.
That means
in.
Virginia's
They're
not.
nuts if they do.
That means
the
Virginia
ACC's
can't
out.
even be the 11 or 12,
That means James Madison makes it.
possibly. Or you
Yeah.
got the winner, Tulane, North Texas.
So Mean Green.
And,
So-
and, you know, Darren, what's interesting is here we are talking about the back end of this. This is the same thing that happens basketball season when you get to the selection time. They're always worried about who's in, who's out, who are the play-in teams, who are those first 4 out. That's exactly what's going on here, is that who are these last 3 or 4 teams. But the difference is in as much parity as we have this year, the 9 or 10 team actually has as good a chances as the 3 or 4 team at getting to the finals, in my opinion.
Notre Dame, I think, has the third best betting odds to win the title.
Yeah, they just need to get in.
I interviewed the VP of operations for Circus Sports earlier today, and he's been on Texas Tech all year as the second best team in the country behind Ohio State. And Texas Tech to win the national championship is plus 1,000 right now.
Wow.
Notre Dame is plus 1,000, but yet they may not make the playoff.
Mhm.
So it's a bizarre circumstance. And maybe this is little apples and oranges, but remember 2 years ago, Florida State lost their quarterback before the ACC championship game, Jordan Travis. They looked not very good offensively, undefeated. They got booted out of the playoff, and Alabama got in, and it was a huge debate. And you look at this, Ole Miss lost their head coach and their offensive play caller, and they go up a spot in the rankings. Now, the difference is we got to see Florida State without Jordan Travis, and it was ugly. We haven't got to see Ole Miss without Lane Kiffin. So that's why I said it's probably apples and oranges, but I was stunned that Ole Miss moved up a spot, losing their head coach. I would think that would matter.
Yeah, and one of the things that I think about, and even in the NCAA basketball tournament, who's playing well at the end of the season? Well, I don't think there's any doubt in anybody's mind that Notre Dame is playing as well as anybody in the country right now.
When you look at the power ratings, that's very true.
Right.
You know, Darren, one of the things that
No, I agree.
here, I'm going to throw something back to Thanksgiving weekend. One of the worst things that happened to everybody was Texas beating A&M, because it caused all this shuffling to take place. And because of that game, not only A&M and Tech basically traded places, bumped Notre Dame back a spot, because now you're moving Oklahoma in, you're moving, people around, and Notre Dame, got bumped.
It's kind of interesting. You think about the Big Ten basketball championship game. It's always right before the selection. So I don't think anything changes in the selections, no matter wins or loses the Big Ten, right? Would you agree? Unless an automatic bid goes to a team that wasn't going to get in. But I think it's interesting now there's a big debate on whether Alabama should be punished for losing the SEC championship game. Is it going to be like that, where as long as they don't get blown out, they're fine? Because you do have to give Alabama credit. They went to Athens, they went between the hedges and beat them 24-21. So if you lose to them on a neutral field, does that just cause Alabama to stay put? I mean, there is an argument that Notre Dame never has to play that 13th game. Should Alabama be punished for having to play the 13th game? I don't think they should, honestly, guys. I think it's the extra game that Notre Dame doesn't have to play. I don't think it should factor in. I really don't. I think if Alabama shows up and plays a solid game, they should not move, win or lose.
Well, okay, so a team with 3 losses, you're cool with a team with 3 losses being in?
Absolutely, because they're in the SEC championship game and they had to play one more game than, for this example, Notre Dame or Miami, or pick your favorite team that's not in a conference championship game. It is an advantage sitting around and not playing this weekend.
All right, how about this?
Oklahoma, maybe, if Oklahoma's in the SEC title game, I mean, if they lose, they probably still get in, but I don't think Oklahoma is nearly as good as Notre Dame. I think the Irish would hammer the Sooners, but they catch a break. They don't have to play in a 13th game, and I think they're lucky, because I think they're lucky to be in the playoff right now, personally.
Let me ask you a question then. If Duke beats Virginia, Duke has, 5 losses?
Yes.
Are they in?
No. I don't think they can crawl that far up to be one of the top 5.
Let me ask you another question.
Sure.
If Alabama wins, do they move up to spot 5 or 6? If they lose, why do they not move down or out? But if they win, do they move up?
That's why I pause. That's a fair argument. That's a very fair argument.
That sounds like that. If you're gonna throw that in there, that's a. Is that a legitimate question?
So what happened over Thanksgiving, man? Did you go somewhere or something?
Maybe I got some Prevagen or something.
Seriously, you're on Prevagen, aren't you? You're sitting next to John. It's called osmosis.
I'm just asking if we as a group are sitting here trying to say Alabama, is not going to be penalized for a 3rd loss. Are they going to move them up to spot 5 or 6 or 4?
Knowing
they
the
win.
committee, they probably will. I mean, knowing the committee, I would say probably yes.
And if that's the case, then why is Notre Dame where they are? They should be 3 or 4 because they've won 10 in a row.
Because the chairman of the committee is a current SEC AD.
Well, that's the other thing. Darren, you mentioned this. Who are the people on the committee? Aren't most of them like school athletic directors?
There are 3 head coaches, former head coaches. I believe Mike Riley, the old Oregon State, Nebraska head coach, I think is one of them. So they do actually have some former coaches on the committee, which I think is a big step in the right direction. I'll see. I think the problem is they need to set traits and go with it, because look at Alabama, for example. They have 4 outstanding wins. I'm going off the top of my head. I think they've got wins over Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Georgia, and maybe Missouri is the 4th one. I think that might be right. But they also lost to Florida State in the first game, and that looks like, not a great loss. So at one point, do you erase that loss to Florida State or minimize it because of the quality wins you've had this year? Because I thought all along Alabama should have been ahead of Notre Dame. I don't know why it took so long, because they've got 4 great wins, and Notre Dame has a really good win over USC, a very good win over Pittsburgh, and then it's just a pile of what?
A bunch of 500 teams.
Right.
Bad defense.
John,
A lot of bad defenses.
Hey, Darren, do you think that a lot of this, again, as we're seeing, is a lot of SEC bias, kind of like we've seen in the last couple of years?
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
without a doubt.
The
Tony
SEC
says yes.
Big
Without a
Ten
doubt.
have a lot of power right now. I know Chris Fowler was on, I think, the Dan Patrick show, and he was saying ESPN has no influence at all whatsoever in what goes on in that committee room. I mean, we kind of
It's a weird thing to say unprovoked.
Yeah. So
Must have a lobbyist in his ear.
Hey, okay, let's get to
Here's
the
the
real
thing.
question. Okay, let's get to the real question, because I know who you had on your show either today or yesterday, and it's one Mr. Jeff Joniak, the voice of the Chi-Town Chicago Bears. Bear down, Chicago Bears.
I've got to. I'm a muting.
You gotta fight for
I
your
just hit-
right to victory.
Oh, I just muted him.
So, how did that interview with Jeff Joniak go?
Well, first, he's a great interview. He was really engaged in the conversation, which is always fun as someone who gets to ask questions. But he even said he's surprised they are as good as they are right now. He was a big believer in Ben Johnson. I think, like all of us, it was going to take a little time. I go back to week 2. Remember when they got hammered by Detroit?
Yep.
I had
who?
Jeff.
Oh,
the Lions.
Detroit. Okay, the Lions. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Dan Campbell wasn't calling plays at that time, was he?
He was
okay.
not.
You're
No,
good.
no, he was not. And I had the chance to have Jeff Joniak's partner, Tom Thayer, on my show. And I asked Tom how important, or I actually said, is the most important thing for Ben Johnson right now is to create a winning culture. And he said 100%. These guys have to learn how to win football games. They have been a part of so many losses, games you couldn't pull out in the fourth quarter. Now, obviously, winning helps probably create that culture a little quicker, but these players have listened to Ben Johnson. They believe in him. And now once you start winning, then it just continues to grow and grow that culture. So the winning culture is there. They're doing it with Caleb Williams being up and down. I mean, their running game, guys. Here's the thing. Don't you guys agree when you think of the Lions under Ben Johnson running the offense, you think of some of the wild trick plays they pulled off. But you peel back the layers, he loved to run the football. And with Gibbs and Montgomery, my gosh, you should run the football. And look what's happened. They're number 2 now in the NFL, the Bears are, in rushing yards, 153 yards per game. And I remember in August, NFL Network was at Bears camp, and they had these reports saying, we just saw the most physical practice we have ever seen in an NFL camp. And that was Ben Johnson creating that physicality to get this running game to where it is right now. And if you can run it and you can turn over the opposition, guys, you can beat anybody. So I don't know if they're on the same level as the Rams and the Packers, but they're a step below at the worst. I'm really impressed with what they're doing. If Caleb could ever be a little more accurate, I just wonder what this offense is going to look like.
Well, and I think that'll come, to be quite honest with you, because I think that the Bears have surrounded him with such great people. Ben Johnson, their quarterback coach, the former quarterback at Ohio State, and I think that will come. One of the things that I thought was really cool that Ben Johnson said early was our wide receivers are going to learn to block. And here's what we say: no block, no rock. We're not going to throw the ball to you if you're not blocking. And I mean, on every single play, you look at those wide receivers down the field. They're engaged with somebody. And whether the run is a 2-yard run or they cut it back and it's an 18-yard run, those wide receivers are engaged blocking.
No question. And I'll tell you what, heck, as much grief as Ryan Poles gets as GM, he and Ben Johnson put together one heck of an offensive line. What a change from last year. Getting Thuney from Kansas City to play guard was masterful. So now you got this great offensive line. Good old Cole Kmet of the Irish is taking kind of a backseat to Colston Loveland in a lot of ways and doesn't complain. He blocks. Loveland's getting better in that area. I just love what they're doing. It's a formula for success in the cold of December and January. And or that running game, you can take that on the road and have a lot of success. But the Packers, heck, number 8 in the NFL, only giving up 98 rushing yards per game. So that's going to be a fun little matchup on Sunday.
Yeah, and Tony always, he's a huge Bear fan. And whenever we would talk about the Bears, you always talked about the offensive line. Always.
Yep, always.
Now they got an offensive line.
And they're good.
Yeah, and so they draft Ozzie. It makes you look pretty smart, doesn't it?
I told them that when they were drafting Caleb.
Yeah,
I said,
100%.
it doesn't matter if they don't have offensive line. And what happened last year?
That's right.
Well, they draft Ozzie Osbourne at right tackle. He played right tackle. At the start of training camp, he gets lost a little bit, but their offensive line coach, James Rouchar, is one of the best in the league, and they bring Ozzie Osbourne along pretty good. Now, he's doing a great job at left tackle for a rookie, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's been a revolving door a little bit there at left tackle, so they have figured it out. Darnell Wright has turned out to be a great first-round pick, your right tackle, and the free agent signings have worked out. I just think, heck, we have a lot in common, our NFL teams. I think our two teams have two of the best offensive lines. They have two great young quarterbacks, but no one believes in them. They continue to win. That team.
The Broncos.
Denver Broncos.
Everybody criticizes the Bears and the
Broncos
for winning games. But you know what? The Bills lose to the Dolphins. You see Green Bay lose to Carolina, who's better than Miami. But I'm just saying, all these teams that everybody believe in, they have these bad losses. Green Bay tied Dallas when Dallas was bad. And same with Denver. They just continue to win games, but everybody just kind of finds a way to say, well, they're not that good. So it's just interesting. You know what? Just continue to win games, and who cares what everybody thinks.
So what does Denver and Chicago have in common?
Offensive line play is outstanding, second-year quarterbacks, and a lot of people, I think, across the country always say, well, they're good, but there's always a but. I've said all along this year on my show, the Bears are the but team, B-U-T, because they're great, but Caleb Williams, or the Bears are this, but everybody always finds a but with the Bears. They're just winning ball games. They're running the ball. They're playing great defense. If the Steelers were the Chicago Bears right now, if those Bears players were in Steeler helmets, they would be Super Bowl favorites, and everybody would be talking about the Steel City. But everybody doubts the Bears I thought the Eagle win would change that, but you still kind of get the sense, guys, that there's still a lot of the Bears. They'll end up being the Bears, but so far they haven't. They're tremendous.
So I say, and everything you said, I think is 100% correct. But I think you missed one thing. I think the coaches. I think Sean Payton has been elite, and he went through Spygate, or he went through some kind of gate where he got in trouble a little bit. And I think Ben Johnson is the new wave of coaching. Now I see Johnny Be Good over here, Johnny Overmeyer. He's got tears coming down his face because he's a Detroit Lion diehard, and John, go ahead.
Lose two coordinators.
You're all right,
I will. What's that, D?
I said it's tough to lose two coordinators.
Oh, it is tough. And then you got your head coach calling plays who couldn't call a play out of a bucket, as far as I'm concerned. and you've got these two running backs. We're not running the football. We're throwing the football. Run the darn ball.
Darren, isn't it interesting, though, that they lose both
Yeah,
coordinators? One goes to the Bears and one goes to the
Jets.
Jets.
Yep.
And
Jets, Jets.
And he lasted how many games? And they've already given him his papers and sent him home. So it just shows you sometimes.
Stop. Who'd they send home? The coach of the Jets?
Yeah.
Aaron Glenn's the coach of the Jets.
Yeah,
He's
not
he
fired
ain't going
yet.
home.
Is he still there? I thought
He's
he got
still there,
fired.
yeah.
You're thinking of the ex-Ohio
thinking-
State quarterback Justin Fields with the Jets. Jets.
There you go.
Sorry, Darren, man.
Darren,
I love having fun, man.
let me jump sports on you, Darren. Tell me about all these new players that Illinois basketball has.
Oh, man.
I can't
Baltic
pronounce.
5.
I can't pronounce half their names. Everybody I've talked to up here that are Illinois people were so excited, and right now they're saying it's non-conference. Wait till the conference season starts. So, they played last night, didn't they?
They play Tennessee and Nashville on Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, they're 6-2. They're not bad.
They beaten Texas Tech. They lost to Alabama because they couldn't make free throws at the United Center.
Was that
And
the game they
then
were like 10 of 28? Was that them?
It was 59%, I know, against Alabama. I can't
I
remember
watched one
what the
game,
exact
it was
number
10 of
was.
28.
No.
That was the Jets.
No, it was a
Jets.
it was a college team.
Well, I'll say this about Illinois. First off, they have Mihailo Petrovic and Andrei Stojakovic and Tomislav Izvasic and Zvonimir Ivasic. So I think I got all the.
They got a lot of bitches.
They
They got a lot of bitches, and they're 6-2, man.
They call them the Baltic 5. And I'm glad you brought it up because on my show, and obviously we're an hour from Champaign, so this is huge Illinois country where I am now. And I'm an Illinois fan. So this is the first time truly I've got the chance to cheer or praise or complain about my team. So
Right.
this is a little different. But after the first couple of weeks, based on process, I felt like Illinois was a Final Four championship contender team. I have now pulled back on that.
Okay.
I think they're at best a second weekend team. And here's why. And this is where I want you guys to come in as basketball coaches, because Brad Underwood has rejuvenated this program. 100% credit from where they were for about 10 years. I mean, it's great to be back in the tournament. But I worry, can they take the next step? And I worry about defensively. They changed defensive coordinators, but yet they continue to play drop coverage against ball screens. And it killed them against Kentucky last year in the NCAA tournament. You're just giving the lane to the opposition to hit a little jumper or kick to the opposite, and they get a wide open three. I don't understand why you never hedge ball screens. They don't double team on the wing. They never put the pressure on the offense. They let the offense dictate. Now, probably what you're going to say is they don't want to give up threes. And I've heard Underwood say that. We don't want to give up threes. We'll give up twos. That was Mike Bray's philosophy too when I was up there, covering the Irish basketball team. But I just feel like drop coverage is like prevent defense in football. With 2 minutes to go, you play prevent defense, and it prevents you from winning. So what are your thoughts on drop coverage compared to hedging ball screens?
So let me tell you something about drop ass coverage. All right. The Florida is leading Duke the other night.
Okay.
And Florida scores, I don't know, with a few seconds left. So Duke has the ball. The best three-point shooter, and Duke is down 2. The best three-point shooter in the gym, in the city, in the state, wherever that game was played. Was that game played at Duke or Florida?
That was at Duke, even
Yeah,
though they had black jerseys on.
Okay, so the best three-point shooter in North Carolina was on Duke's team. He sets a ball screen, all right? The guy guarding him goes to hedge the screen. Are you kidding me? He pops. He's wide open. He knocks down a three. Duke wins. What now? Okay, I mean, elementary basketball. We're going to switch that screen. I mean, there was a timeout. And Duke drew that up. And in that timeout, I'm Florida's guy. I'm saying, boys, we're switching every screen. There ain't no hedging here. There ain't no drop ass coverage. We're switching every screen because we don't want to give up a 3. Now, that coach at Florida is making millions. He makes just a little more than Tony. Okay. He's making millions. That guy that didn't switch is making 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
But it's elementary. Switch the ball screen. They don't, and they lose. Unbelievable to me.
I wonder, Coach, with Illinois, and I don't know how much you've watched them, they're not the most athletic team. And I worry if they switch ball screens, I'm not sure that's going to work out with some of their bigs going up against guards. I mean, last year I think they could have done it.
No. I agree 100% with you. I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can do that in the first minute of a game or the 20th minute of a game. But I think at the end of a game, there's no threes, right?
You know they're going to shoot a 3. So
there ain't
you
no threes, Johnny.
I agree. Yeah,
so you've been you've been running drop coverage. This time
we're switching.
This time only.
You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to call the AD at Florida and say, listen, I'm 69. I ain't got much left, but you only got to pay me $50,000. I'll come and coach that thing. And we ain't giving up that 3. I know that much. But that coach making a few million, and he didn't do that. That's befuddling to me.
Darren, you run drop coverage when you have a big man up there that rolls to the rim, and rolls to the rim. So he's there waiting on him. If he hedges, now you've got a third man that's tagging him, but he's 6'2", trying to guard a 7-footer on a roll, and they just throw it to the rim, which we see all the time too.
What I think is fascinating that you don't even see the roll much anymore. It's the big guy popping out.
Well, yeah, because they're all stretch 5s. They're stretch 5s, stretch 4s.
They're all European. They're all Europeans, and they want to pop so they can shoot that 3.
Hey, listen, on your show, can you call the AD at Florida and tell me you know a guy that'll work on that switching stuff up top? I got a guy for you. Everybody has a guy. All right, so
Scott needs to get onto the Florida website right now, find his email address, and send him a link to the show.
Give him my number. Yeah, and I'm bringing Johnny Be Good as the SID. I'm bringing Pat as my assistant, and I'm bringing Tony as the health markets guy to Florida with us. Hey, so here's
remember me, Coach. Thanks for remembering me. I appreciate it.
Darren is coming as play-by-play, but you ain't leaving. You're married now. Your wife loves where you guys live. You're in heaven, so I can't take it. Okay, you got to stay where you're at. But anyway, here's a question. That's the AD. See if you can get his number. All right. So anyway, here's another question.
There's his email.
Illinois football. So Illinois football was a lot better with Brett Bielema and his coaching his brains out a little bit. And we thought, what a test it's going to be for IU football. IU's going to play Illinois, the first real test that Illinois is going to have in football, and the first real test that IU's going to have in football, right? And all of the talking heads are saying, "Wow, what a game that's going to be! What a game that's going to be!" Talk about that game for a minute.
Well, on my show, I picked Indiana first off, and Illinois lost their best defensive back the week before the Indiana game, Xavier Scott, and that's the number one reason why I picked Indiana. But I think what most people don't realize, with that game progressing, they went to the second half down 6 defensive backs, and all 3 of their free safeties were injured. So they had to move someone who had never played free safety to free safety. So the game got out of hand because the secondary was just absolutely third teamers. So that's going to happen. Yeah, they took it on the chin. But I thought Indiana would win by a couple of touchdowns, but obviously not that bad. But
I think they won by 73. Didn't they? Something like that.
That was a TKO. That one should have been it. They could have called that at the end of 3.
Was that so? Was that a big time game for you as a huge Indiana fan early in the season to say, okay, this is a game I want to see what's going to happen in this game?
That was their first test, and I remember game day. Everybody picked IU to lose except for McAfee. And after they won that game, I remember Mendoza said, "Hey, Pat, thank you for having some faith in us." I'll never forget that moment. Actually,
right.
but like you were talking about earlier, is with the Bears, IU has that. Well, there's always a but in there when they do win. Well, but Illinois was out. This guy's hurt. This guy's hurt. So, I mean, it's been like that which I get it because it's the worst team in history.
They've been the homecoming for everybody.
So people still don't believe in them,
All right.
Yeah, but I tell you who does believe in him is Kurt Signetti, right? I mean, just Google him.
Yeah.
Just Google him, right?
All right, Darren, let me ask you a question
I
here.
love Kurt Signetti,
Where
by
is
the way. I
what's
think he's
the
great.
talk locally? What bowl game is Illinois going to?
I've heard ReliaQuest in Tampa against maybe someone like Tennessee or Vanderbilt. I've heard Las Vegas Bowl against Utah. So those have been I've heard Music City Bowl a little bit too against possibly someone like Tennessee. I tell you what, Clark Lee's done a hell of a job at Vanderbilt, the old Notre Dame defensive coordinator. I mean, what an amazing job. I wish they could have got into the playoffs just from a great story standpoint, but he's done an amazing job. I mean, that program has been nothing for how long, and he has made it so respectable. And I think, didn't Vandy just steal Georgia's 5-star or 4-star quarterback the other day?
They did.
Yep.
Pretty remarkable. Cool stuff there. So who would
they'll
have thought Clark
play
Lee's
one of
having
those
success,
games.
Mike Elko's having success, and Brian Kelly is counting his $54 million.
Yeah.
Along with Ed Ogeron. Where do I sign? Ed, you got a $17 million buyout. Where do I sign?
That's funny.
Where do I sign? So listen, let me ask you this question. Have they found the goalpost at Vanderbilt yet? Have
They got it out of the
goalpost?
river, and I think they auctioned it off.
I think they
Yeah,
did.
they got
They
it
made
out of the
money for
Tennessee
NIL.
Yeah, it was there in the Cumberland River. That's for sure.
That's
So
awesome.
Illinois will be in one of those games like on the 29th or 30th, after Christmas.
Yeah,
The
and
good
you know
teams,
what?
they play after Christmas. That means they're still pretty good.
Well, I tell you what, around these parts, for so many years, football was just kind of something to do until basketball started. Obviously, this is a basketball state, and now it's something we look forward to on Saturday. I know there was a lot of talk they could be the Indiana of this year, but they just won so many close games last year. It wasn't going to happen again. So I think 8-4 is still great for Illinois football. In fact, guys, this is only the second time in the history of Illinois football they have won a total of 18 total games in 2 years. Now, in the old days, you only played 9 games, so I understand that. But when they were really good in '83 with Mike White going to the Rose Bowl, when you take the year before and after, they only won 17. So this is kind of unprecedented, and Bielema has won the most games of any Illinois coach through the first 5 years. So we're never going to be national champions again. That era from 100 years ago is over, but it's just fun to have a football team you look forward to watching, on Saturdays. So, and they have the 21st ranked recruiting class yesterday, which is the best ever in program history. So it's fun. Having fun.
Here's a question for you. Is he going to stay, or I have not heard his name pop up on any of these job openings. Is he going to stay?
Underwood and Bielema both signed new contracts during the summer, and both had stipulations about, I think both had stipulations they couldn't go to another Big Ten team. And I think Bielema had something a little more expanded, but I think he's very happy where he is. I think going to Arkansas probably humbled him a little bit. And, he's a guy that grew up at the edge of Illinois, went to Iowa. I think he's loving it. I think he's having a great time. The NIL isn't the greatest, but it still gives him enough good players to be successful. So, hey, and who knows if the Big Ten gets its way and we have 24 teams in the playoff, they might be able to make that one day, but it's just fun. I've went to several games the last couple of years, and it's fun to go to an Illinois football game. Now, I've been to 2 sellouts, which has not happened very often, guys. It's kind of like Notre Dame basketball. It's impossible to sell out Purcell Pavilion anymore. It's just not going to happen barring a big change. So
they had a small crowd last night. I did see the snow game in Northwestern. They had everybody on one side of the stadium because there was so much snow last week. That was interesting.
Well, I'm glad Notre Dame beat Missouri because Illinois and Missouri have their great bragging rights game in St. Louis at the end of December. So I figure if Notre Dame can beat Missouri, there's a good chance Illinois maybe can beat them.
Missouri comes in undefeated, and I think it's a signature win for Micah Shrewsbury because he's been in those scenarios. He's had his team in those scenarios before, and they just couldn't pull it out. And I think the fact that Marcus Burton not only scored 18 points, but he had 10 assists, which is a double-double for him. and he's learning to give the ball up a little more. And then when you throw in a 5-star McDonald All-American like Jalen Harrelson, who, by the way, fouled out early in that Missouri game.
Yeah, they couldn't get him out quick enough.
He's just another great weapon for Notre Dame. So I think Micah and the Irish are going to be better this year, don't you?
I honestly have not followed them very much. I'm going to be dead honest with you guys, but my last year or so being in South Bend covering the Irish on my sports show, I kind of just lost my enthusiasm for Micah because he whined and complained too much. I mean, to complain for the fans not to come out, that's not your job. Your job is to coach the basketball team. And if you coach the basketball team well enough, and if you have the players, people will come.
And it's interesting you say that because last night they had maybe 3,500 at the game last night. If you notice, the TV did not show too much, expansive views of the arena. And the Missouri coach even said something about people need to, back this team. They are good. And he said he was the one that said something, but he's obviously friends with Shrewsbury. And I think he came to his defense and solicited people to come and support the Irish.
Well, hey,
I say that knowing I have no problem with his coaching ability. I think he's a very smart guy. I just kind of got tired of his press conferences being more about him than the basketball team. So he's got to kind of win me back. And I was glad they won, but I didn't like Marcus Burton's shot against Ohio State with the time running down to pull up.
Yeah, I didn't either.
A veteran player knows better than that.
But I want to tell you something. Micah watches this show every week, so I'm sure I'm going to give him your number, by the way. He's probably going to want to talk to you a little bit. Hey,
your phone's ringing right now.
There it is.
Hey,
he probably doesn't do drop coverage.
No. Hey, let me ask you this question. Speaking of coaches, the last thing, and then we'll let you go. This Lane Kiffin saga. Well, I mean, talk about your thoughts on that a little bit. I know we all have thoughts on it. Whether it's just a sign of the times, or Lane kind of put himself into this, or Ole Miss put himself into this. What's your thoughts on that saga?
Well, the part that's concerning is if the reports are true that Lane leveraged asking to stay to coach Ole Miss during the playoffs by saying, if you don't let me, I'm going to take players and all the coaches with me. I have a major problem with that. That's the lowest of lows. So I don't know if it's true or not. That were the reports, but if it's true, shame on him. I don't know, guys. Is there a way to do the college football calendar to make all this work? I don't know. I mean, in the NFL, you don't see someone become a head coach until after the season is over. Everybody stays put. Nobody leaves. But college is so different. And I don't know if there's an easy answer, guys. I mean, I can't tell a guy not to take a job that he wants. But at the same time, it's just affecting so many lives of coaches and players and families. It's really frustrating. So
yeah, and I don't know.
If you wait till the playoffs over, guys, I mean, look at all the time you've lost recruiting, raising money, all that stuff. So I can't blame.
It's about the portal too. Players, hey, I ain't playing in the playoff game, coach. I'm going into the portal. I'm losing $1 million by not going into the portal early. So I think it all needs to be reworked.
Yeah.
But I understand Ole Miss's part in it, saying no, you're not going to coach. I mean, I don't want you poaching our players, number one. Number two, I want a coach in there who our players are gonna want to play for. And you're taking off, you're bolting, man. And then there was talk about what was said in a players' meeting and stuff like that. And it's gotten way out of hand, to be honest with you.
The only thing you can compare it to is in the late 80s at Michigan with Bill Frieder. Yeah. When he left, before the tournament, and Fish came in, and they ended up winning the whole thing in '89.
But that's a long time ago.
That cost this team a championship.
Listen, in '89, I still had bell bottoms on.
You were at Ball State by then, weren't you?
Yeah, I was, but had bell bottoms.
Oh, yes, you did. Darren, think about this. They've got it. The portal, everything with the portal. Wasn't National Signing Day just like 2 days ago? That all has
yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. That has to be moved to January 15th.
Or you could go back to when it used to be in February.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Signing period, go back to February, but
100%.
It's the early signing period.
They've got to wait till everything's done, and if there's anything that goes on behind the scenes, then that's part of it. But they have to they have to wait, otherwise this is going to continue.
Hey, Darren, I want to thank you for coming on, man. Taking an evening away from your beautiful wife, I know you're on the air all the time, man. And for you to take a couple of minutes with us four guys, man, it's phenomenal. But the last thing I want to leave you with, and I want to hear you talk about, I don't want to see you cry. I got Johnny Be Good over there crying over the Detroit Lions. I got him crying over the Detroit Tigers because they're talking about trading Scooble.
They do that.
John, are you okay?
No,
John, wake up a little bit. Wake up.
I gotta cry. That happens. I'm done with the Tigers.
Okay. So what about your St. Louis Cardinals? Talk to me about Wilson Contreras, Nolan Arenado. Quiet, I love it.
Did you work? Which golf tournament did you work at?
I love it.
This is from Hobby Lobby. That's what it is.
I mean, you got nothing to say about the St. Louis Cardinals because I know you love them.
No, I'll tell you what. I am very excited, and I'm dead serious because we have band-aided this thing for so many years. We finally hit rock bottom, although this year could be worse than the last couple of years. But we are finally going to rebuild this thing, and I'm very excited about that. They've got some really good young players that I think are foundational pieces that you haven't seen yet. And the only way you're going to compete with the Cubs is rebuilding this thing. So I'm excited. Mozeliak is gone. That's good news. A fresh new set of eyes on the organization. So Wilson Contreras is now willing to move his no trade clause, which I'm excited about. Get him out of town. Don't want to see him anymore.
Who wants him? I think the Detroit Tigers want him, to be honest with you. I think the Cardinals can get Scooble for Wilson Contreras right now.
You want to mute him
right now.
So Scuba wants to play with a 72-win team next year. I don't think he wants to do that.
I don't think he does either, man.
Put him on a good team. So they've got some really good guys, and they are right now, I think, odds number 8 in the draft lottery coming up next week. So they've got a chance for another top 5 pick, and they were just given the 32nd overall pick for competitive balance. So they're collecting picks. They're collecting young guys. So 2028, heck, when we're talking about baseball, I think the Cardinals will have a chance to be in contention for the things they want to contend with. But it's going to take a couple of years. So just got to be patient. But I'm okay. Rebuild the damn thing, and I'm finally going to see it.
On January 6th, I'm going to be 70. I'm not sure I got that many years to say, hey, the Cardinals going to be back, man.
My friend, you have dodged a lot of bullets. I think you got a lot of bullets left, my man. And I got to ask you, you mentioned when you were at Ball State. Were you at Ball State when they played Illinois in the NCAA tournament?
That was the year before because Rick Majerus coached them.
That's right.
And then after that year, Rick Majerus left and went to Utah, and then I came in with Dick Hunsaker. But I will tell you this much:
he inherited Majerus's car.
I had to take Majerus's car back to the dealership. Okay, a brand new Park Avenue. He had broken the front seat. He had it propped up with a Louisville Slugger. He had pizza stains and Cheeto stains all over the roof and all over the seats. And I drove it in. I said, "This is Rick's car, man. I got to go see you." But anyway, man, it is so cool to talk to you, man. And I'm so glad that, moving to where you moved to, and then being able to, start up those sports shows again, right up your alley. You are so freaking good at it, man. Thanks for taking a minute to spend with us tonight.
I miss the people up there like you guys. I had Chuck Freeby actually on my show yesterday talking about Notre Dame, and that was great to reconnect with him. So you miss the people, but I got to be honest, being at this set of radio stations has rejuvenated me. It's a great place to work, and I'm just very excited to be in a place that is got a lot of potential. So I'm very, very excited about that.
Let me ask you, how often did you see my buddy Dan Rourke over during football season?
Oh, my gosh, quite often. We have teams we broadcast for that played each other and had an amazing game, but he was on my morning show several times talking about Chatham Glenwood, who was a tremendous football team this year. And Coach Heklinski, Chatham Glenwood has had people like Jeff Facero, or no, actually Facero wasn't from there. Jason Worth was from there. Phil Mayton just signed with the Cubs. He's a Chatham Glenwood individual. So it is a great, great school. They've got a kid that's going to Tennessee to pitch next year. Cameron Appenzeller, who's a fantastic lefty thrower.
He's pitching for the old Tennessee coach because the old Tennessee coach is coaching the Giants.
How about that? So, yeah, Coach Rourke was on my show a lot. And you know what? I listened to him a couple of times, and he did a heck of a job as an analyst. He really got into the football stuff. And
he knows his stuff.
Oh, he does. And Coach King, you'll appreciate this. We were leaving the game that we broadcasted the same game, walking to the parking lot. I'm like, your state championship team back in the 90s, if it would have played this Glenwood team, which was undefeated until they ran into the greatest NIL high school program, East St. Louis, in the playoffs. But I go, who wins the game? He goes, my team would win by 14. No doubt about it.
There you go.
It was the coaching, Coach King, that would be the difference.
That's
all right. Hey, listen, Darren, say hi to Coop for us, and keep rolling, my friend. Make sure you tell Jeff Joniak. I mean, see if he wants to be on Coach's Corner sometime. We'd love to have him on.
Well, you probably have to get the Florida AD on first. Then we get Joniak. To finish the thought on Notre Dame and Purcell Pavilion, a really quick story. So my son, obviously, he grew up in South Bend, but he's always been an Illinois fan like me. He just always said Notre Dame basketball is kind of boring. He enjoyed the fast pace of Illinois basketball. So he went to a lot of games at Purcell Pavilion. 2 years ago, I took him to his first game at Illinois, and his mouth dropped. He's like, oh, my gosh, this feels like college basketball. And the environment is just totally different in the two facilities. So hopefully Notre Dame can get it built up. But I don't know. I think Mike had turned off a few people with some of those comments last year based on people I've talked to. He's going to have to win people back.
Well, and plus, I mean, to have the Lou patrolling the sidelines at Illinois. So Lou, are you kidding me?
Back in the day.
Lou Henson, man.
He's just a classic bully, that Bobby Knight.
Bobby Knight a bully? Hey, Bobby, you're a bully. I'll take you,
baby. Man, I'll tell you what, Bill Frieder quitting, that cost Illinois the national championship. I truly believe that. They were the best team, and that switch just ignited Michigan. So I see that in my nightmares quite often. That and the 05 team was the chance to see a championship. So
all right, well, listen, I'm in your nightmares coming up. Watch the 2026 World Championship Cubs singing the song, all right? Just watch the Cubbies.
They won't spend any money.
I hear you, man.
Any money. It's ridiculous.
Hey, thanks, Darren. You're the absolute best, man.
Hey, guys.
Thank you.
Talk to you, Darren.
Yeah.
And Tony, we'd certainly like to thank you for coming on. Also, your views on Indiana, both basketball, football, and then obviously the Bears. You're a Bear diehard, man, and you're taking your time out of your busy schedule now because I know how busy you are during this time. And to be able to sponsor us and help us out, we want to thank you too, man.
Hey, I got to support you two legends. So,
all right. Well, listen, give us you got a 15-second commercial. Tell the people if they need to get hold of you and for what you do, and give them some basics.
So you can reach me at tletcher@healthmarkets.com or 574-307-8882. Doesn't cost you anything. If you have questions, concerns about your health insurance, your Medicare, maybe it's, cancer plans, dental, vision.
Or scan the QR code in the top left corner.
Yep. Just give me a call.
Yeah, and
Scott says, scan the barcode.
Scan the barcode. There you go. Perfect.
Plus, listen to the commercials.
And if you're going to call United Healthcare,
ask for the president.
Yep. I ain't talking to
the CEO, the president.
I want to talk to the president. I got a problem. Hey, Scott, why don't you take us to a break? We'll come back, talk some high school stuff, and you can go sit by your beautiful wife, man.
Wonderful.
Thinking about retirement? Harbor Group Planned Wealth helps you answer the big questions like when to draw Social Security, how to manage investment risk, and what health insurance might cost. Wondering if you can earn part-time income after 62 without losing benefits, or if retiring could actually feel like getting a raise. They've got answers and a plan to guide you. Call the Harbor Group at 765-393-1074 or visit harborgroup.com. That's harborgroup.com. Han Funeral Homes, located at 505 West 8th Street in Mishawaka, continues a proud tradition built on one promise of family serving families. With deep roots in the community, Han Funeral Homes offers traditional burial, cremation services, and now pet cremation options, providing compassionate care for every member of the family. Families in Mishawaka have long trusted Hans to guide them with dignity, understanding, and personal attention through life's most difficult moments. For more information, visit them online at hanfuneralhomes.com or call 574-255-1474. Han Funeral Homes, a family serving families.
Medicare plans can be confusing, but they don't have to be. I'm Tony Ledger, licensed insurance agent. I can help you compare your options because I'm appointed with many nationally recognized carriers. With my help, you can find the coverage that fits your needs and budget. I don't want you to be my client today. I want you to be my client forever. Call Tony Ledger today to schedule your free consultation or visit tledger.com.
Looking to hit the road with confidence? Frick's Driving School in Mishawaka has been helping drivers of all ages gain the skills they need for a lifetime of safe driving. With experienced, patient instructors, including our very own Pat King, and flexible scheduling options, Frick's makes learning to drive easy and stress-free. Whether you're a first-time driver or need a refresher like our own Ron Heklinski, Frick's has you covered. Plus, for just $65, they offer the state driving exam in-house. No need to go anywhere else. Visit fricksdrivered.com or you can call 574-256-0650 to get started today. Back again with more Coach's Corner. Shout out, as always, to the Black Sedan Band, now in their... Well, they've been with us since the start. We'll just say that. They do travel, so if you're interested in booking a great cover band, go to blacksedanband.com or you can check them out on YouTube after you're done watching us, of course. Now here's more Heck and King.
Welcome back, man.
Caught you with a mouthful of pizza.
No, and speaking of pizza, I mean, how about Corby's Irish Pub?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what a great place to be able to come on Thursday nights and host a show. I mean, the pizza is amazing. The atmosphere is amazing. And we thank Joe Mediga for having us in here and allowing us to do our show here.
Well, and I had mentioned before Thanksgiving, Christmas parties or holiday parties are starting up. They've got, with the new and improved, expanded Corby's here, and a lot of you haven't been down here since summertime. All that construction has been finished. They have, I would say, you could have 3 different groups in here. For
the upstairs,
you've got an upstairs, you've got 2 rooms in the back. There's plenty of room for your holiday party. So if you've got a business and you're looking for some place to have your Christmas party, or school teachers want to have your school party, Corby's be a good choice.
We might have our broadcastsport.net Christmas party here.
Very possible. We could do that.
Really?
We're thinking about it, yeah.
Really? When is that going to be?
Haven't set a date
Yet to be determined.
But we're thinking about it.
Well, it's got to be before Christmas, right?
I
So
guess.
in the next 3 weeks. Hey, we want to
Let our
talk
event planner handle that for us.
high school basketball.
He hasn't been subbing
Stop.
for event planners. He's been subbing in English
I
classes.
missed that memo.
High school.
As I was saying, football season is over in Indiana. You had the state tournaments, Thanksgiving weekend, and I think the people that were supposed to win won.
Yes.
And it is now in Indiana high school. We're going to call this basketball season. It's December. You've got some good games coming up. A lot of some of the conference games are starting to kick in here before Thanksgiving or before Christmas time. John, you've seen some of that. You've seen mostly girls,
Right.
but you've seen a couple boys games.
I have.
Tell us a little bit what you know about some of the start here. The boys have played maybe 2 games at the most.
Yeah, Riley got off to a really good start. They spanked the pretty good LaPorte team the night before Thanksgiving. I think Riley's got something really going to go on that.
Did you do that game?
I did not, but I did. I saw a lot of highlights of that game. I'll tell you, that Riley team's going to be a team to watch in the NIC. Obviously, Adams beat Niles the other night. Chad's got them off to a good start. We'll see how that team develops. I think there's a few things they need to work out. Penn opens up their season tomorrow night against Fort Wayne Carroll. because that game got postponed originally because of football, but then it got snowed out last Saturday because everybody got snowed
So
out.
it's been moved twice, hasn't it?
Yeah, so they'll play Fort Wayne Carroll tomorrow night. Expect some good things from Penn. St. Joe, we know how good they're going to be.
Well, St. Joe's
all
moved
you gotta
up.
do is say St. Joe, say Eric App, you're good.
St. Joe's moved up this year.
They're playing 4A ball.
So they're
But they'll be the favorite to
4A.
win that sectional.
And
They really will.
They're rated top 10.
I think they're going to be really good.
What do you know about the Northern Lakes?
I don't know anything about the Northern Lakes, but I will say this much. Talk about the NIL reserve that Riley has to be able to bring Corey Parker over from Washington.
From Washington, yeah.
I mean, he was a heralded freshman last year at Washington, averaged about 11 a game. And so now he comes over to Riley, right?
Yeah,
Well,
they went over to Riley because
their
Ryan
coach-
Varga takes the job at Jimtown. And DeCorey says, with all the uncertainty of who is going to be the coach and all this, I felt more comfortable going to Riley. And Alex Daniels says, come on over. I got a jersey for you.
Well, their coach works for BSN, so they might get some nice equipment.
Well, no, I mean, it's called so NIL, and I'm being facetious when I say that, but NIL is filtering down to some high schools in some states already.
Some 45.
Texas is one. Yeah, no, 100%.
45 states have NIL for high school.
Yeah.
And Indiana is one of those 5 that does not.
Now, today.
Yes, today.
That's coming.
All right, so listen,
coming.
if we had NIL back in the day, how much would you have commanded to play?
Me?
Yeah, I'm just asking.
If I could have had lunch at the Big Top every day, I'd been happy.
All right. I think
I would have settled for nothing less than a free house, a free car, every meal paid. Oh, wait, I already had that from my coach.
yes, you already
right.
do. You're a pilot. Come on.
You're the coach's kid.
No, and we say that, but that's a sad reality of where this could be. Now, Riley and Alex Daniel are doing a great job, obviously, because the year before, Clay closes down, and one of the very best sophomores in the state, not only in northern Indiana, but in the state, Tyrese Jones.
Tyrese Jones, yeah.
He goes over to Riley, so Alex corrals him in.
Right.
Now he gets the Parker kid, and Riley's going to be good. But I did go over to St. Joe yesterday. I'm broadcasting the St. Joe Chesterton game tomorrow night, and I went over to St. Joe yesterday to watch practice. And you're talking about a squad that was already pretty good. When you talk about Elijah King and Ethan Roseman, the guard that moved in last year from Indianapolis Chatard.
Right.
But they bring a kid from Valpo in, a kid named Forbes, who's about a 6'3" junior who's really good. They bring in Peyton Miambi
From Penn.
a 6'5" player who's really good. Northridge has a heralded 8th grade group that are now freshmen this year. And I've heard about this group for 2 years now. And when they were 8th graders, they were undefeated. They'd been undefeated their whole career. Well, one of the best players from that Northridge group transferred over to St. Joe. And he is a freshman at St. Joe. And watching him, he doesn't look like a freshman to me.
Okay.
And watching him play. So St. Joe is going to be very good. And anytime Eric Gaff has a chance to coach kids up, they're really fortunate because he really knows what he's doing.
And they're one of the top teams in the nation, too.
Yeah.
Looking at the national, they're one of the top teams in the nation, not just in Indiana.
Well, and their deal is going to be the success ratio because they're moving up to 4A now.
4A ball this year, yes. Exactly.
Well, and I was just looking here. Saturday, they go down to Brownsburg and play. They play Cathedral on Saturday. I know they've really bumped up their schedule. Their JV may only play maybe 12 or 15 games because
they're going to
Homestead
Homestead
off and playing.
They play Mount Vernon at Homestead, and Mount Vernon is coached by one of my former players, Joey Bradburn, and he has probably the favorite for Mr. Basketball, a guard named Luke Ertl, who's a left-handed guard, and so St. Joe will play against him, and then they're playing against Silver Creek
They play Silver Creek
in a tournament in Southport.
Yeah, and that's 2 weeks from now on the 13th.
Yeah, so they have bumped their schedule. They're playing Mount Carmel later on in January from
Okay.
Chicago.
And they did that last year and lost by 15 or 20.
Yeah, and let me tell you,
But it might have been the best thing for them.
and let me tell you about Mount Carmel back in the day. My first year at Anderson, we played Mount Carmel. So Mount Carmel comes into the Wigwam. 2 players that played for Mount Carmel. You got any guesses by any chance?
You told me they both ended up in the NBA, right?
No, Antoine Walker played at Kentucky and then played for the Boston Celtics.
Right. Right.
And the other star was Donovan McNabb. Oh, by the way, he only ended up in the NFL
Yeah.
Okay.
with the Eagles.
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
So the high schools, the boys have all played one game. Some of
Pretty
them,
much, yeah.
except some of the football schools, like you said, had some games last night. There's a couple. There's a game tonight. I think New Prairie plays, or no, that's tomorrow night. New Prairie plays over at Michigan City Marquette.
Northwood's playing Tippy Valley tonight.
Right. The girls have played 3 or 4 games. I think maybe 5 or 6. They started the second week of November. Elkhart's 5-1. St. Joe's 4-1. I will see Friday night, tomorrow night. I will be over at St. Joe for the Marion St. Joe girls game. I'm doing that game on radio. Where are you going tomorrow? You got a game tomorrow?
I'm doing Penn, Washington out at the Great Western Forum.
Okay.
be careful. Last time they had a game there, this was last year when they had the riot there. Remember?
Yeah, I know.
Paul Condrey was doing a game there, and they had the riot.
Yep, I know.
Matt Painter was in the stands.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, he was in the stands when they had the riot against Riley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I'm doing Penn, Washington girls, and I'll see Crown Point girls
That's
Saturday night at Penn, and they're the real deal too. But I'll tell you, the team to watch for in 4A in our area is Warsaw. I saw them the night before Thanksgiving play Penn. And
They beat them up,
Penn,
didn't they?
They ran Penn right out of the gym.
Yeah. Penn
How
had
good is Penn?
They're okay. The problem they've got is they're two bigs. One's out for the year. Anna Satri's out with a torn ACL.
Oh.
Addie Hummel has a knee injury. She may be back in time for the Intera Classic at Christmas. They're down there two bigs, so they're struggling a little bit. But I'll tell you, that Warsaw team impressed me. And Jocelyn Bricker is, I think, about 80 points away. She'll become the all-time leading scorer in Warsaw basketball history.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Lenny Krebs has done a great job with them. They got to the state finals a year ago. They could go down again this year. They're that good.
Well, I did the Goshen at Marion game on Tuesday night.
Right.
And something happened that's never happened before to the great Robbie Berger.
Got tossed in the first quarter.
I had several people text me today and go, Robbie, what Robbie say to the guy?
Yeah,
and you've already told me.
I was
you didn't say
there.
anything.
I was there, and Robbie got the first technical. The big boy Prescott Horvath went over the back on an offensive rebound. Ref called the foul. And okay, it's a close call. Robbie kind of talked to the ref a little bit, got banged up right there. And so Robbie goes and he has to sit down, right?
Yep.
So he sits down and he motions for the ref to come here. He's sitting there because he probably still wants to find out why he got teed. And the ref said, nope. And Robbie said, no, come here for a second. The ref just goes, boom, banged him on the second time, just like that. And Robbie's sitting there. He's in amazement. He's amazed. He's sitting there going, what? Really? And so I talked to Rob after the game, obviously. And I said, Rob, here's the deal. I said, in your career, you've probably got probably 10 technicals, right? Because Robbie's not
No, he's not.
Robbie doesn't go after guys.
No.
I said, he probably got 10 technicals, right? I said, Rob, I probably got 100 technicals. Okay. And I'm just being straight up. I probably got 100 technicals. But Rob, I got to be straight up with you. I ain't never been kicked out of a game, man. Rob looks at me like, oh, man.
Yeah.
But and then Marion ended up
the funny
getting beat.
part is he student taught for you 100 years ago, right? Down in Anderson.
His first 2 years of coaching were at the Wigwam.
Yeah.
Were in Anderson.
So
And
you two
he
go-
saw a lot of those technicals.
You two go way back.
Yeah, and so and I know you guys are basketball guys, and I know you know the deal. I probably would have had 200 technicals if I not learned this trick. If you got good officials working your game, and you're getting you're on some guy and you're on him, blah blah blah, and that guy grabs his whistle, he's giving you a signal that that's it.
Yeah.
And most of the time, I took the signal.
Nonverbal communication.
Yeah. Now, if you're working with a guy that's not a good official, he doesn't understand that.
Right.
He's going to say, "Sit down, coach. Sit down, coach." But when I see the guy that grabs the whistle and getting ready to go
and looks at you,
yeah, and then you're done.
Uh-huh.
You're done. And that's where good officials do come into play.
You know, I got a birthday wish from Mike
I was
Wasnora,
just going to bring that up. I saw that.
and he made a nice comment. He said, "I appreciate you because you understood to hire good officials." He said, "And you were always fun to have to referee your games at Adams because you understood to get good officials." And I sent him a note back and said, "Can I have this quote so I can show this to the next referees meeting here in South Bend?" He said, "Of course you can."
So, okay. And you just set me so you put the ball on a tee for me, and now I'm getting ready to swing at it.
Yep, exactly.
What's a good official?
One that lets the kids play. If you've got Goss and Wasnora back in the day, and whoever they brought with them, Andy Simpson or Zach Sliwa or whoever it might have been, there were times I knew when we had a non-conference game on a Saturday and I knew they had our game, they would call me and said, "Hey, we've got a new guy we're trying out," because we were going through the transition to three officials. And a lot of your two-man crews then were bringing a third guy. They were trying to figure him out. I said, "Hey, we're going to bring this a younger official with us. Is that okay?" And I said, "Yeah, great." And that's what Saturday night ball games were for. And when you had good officials, get those new guys and see, and that's where you worked with the officials. And I thought that was a good thing. But see, we communicated. Now Friday night, you better bring me 3 good officials because that's our conference game.
Well,
but on Saturday night, if you got two
good,
and they're trying, just like I said, they're trying to get a third guy some experience.
Well, that's like with Andy Simpson, and he's a good friend of ours, and we always talk to him all the time. He had a story back, several years ago when St. Joe was playing over at the Bricky Bowl in the sectional. St. Joe's going in, the gate clock's running, they go in. Tony Carmola was the quarterback for St. Joe at the time. He's quarterback sneak, and I mean, there's a massive bodies all over the place. Did he break the plane or not? And Andy's not signaling a touchdown. So I talked to him after the game, and I said, "Why didn't you?" He finally did. But I said, "Why did you?" He says, "That's not my job. I've got 2 younger guys back here on the goalpost. The play's going away from me, not coming towards me. Those guys have got to make that decision, and then they signal it. Then I will go and signal it to the press box and the crowd. It was a touchdown." So it was a learning experience, but I can't see the ball in that mass of people. That's not my job as the Whitecap. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I think it's interesting too. But go ahead and ask me what I thought a good official was.
What did you think a good official was?
If we won.
If you won.
If we won.
You ran them out
great
of the gym.
official. You're a great official. We lose. Get out. You're never coming back again.
We had a lot of people like that.
Hey, so I got to say this because we're getting ready to close down. This might have been one of my favorite shows of all time. We had the great Johnny Be Good with us. We had Darren on. We had Tony with us. And I'm so appreciative of everybody that's been on tonight. I'd be remiss if I didn't make this comment because we all know what a great ambassador he's been for Indiana football. I mean, Miles McLaughlin from Knox just committed yesterday to Murray State.
Yeah, right.
And so happy for him and Russ Radke for all the things that they did at Knox. A lot of people had thoughts that they may go on and win the state. Fort Wayne Lures said that ain't happening.
Right.
But anyway, great show tonight. Thanks, John. We're going to have some great pizza here. And, you guys have been awesome. We will be back, next week. And
we got 2 more weeks, and then we take a little break for Christmas and do it again.
Yeah, we will. We will. Scott, you're the best. Thanks for spinning the dials back in Alexandria. And thanks for all of our sponsors. You guys are amazing for putting us on and keeping us on. And we'll see you guys next week.